What is up, Bat family? Welcome back to the weekly Zoom call. I have just recorded this for you guys, and the audio didn't come out quite clear. It actually didn't record at all, and so here I am making the analysis and covering the news once again for you all. I hope you all had a fantastic trading week last week. Last week was non-farm payroll, and gold made a new all-time high, nasdaq made a new all-time high, and Bitcoin also made a new all-time high. It's been an absolute wild week in the markets, and we're going to start things off by, as usual, covering the weekly news and covering our analysis for the trading pairs that we trade, as well as diving into some analysis on Bitcoin and XRP. Alright here, so first things first, starting off the week, not too much news on Monday, but on Tuesday we have high impact news for GBP, and then we have high impact news pre-New York Open for the US dollar, which is consumer price index, or could be considered as core inflation rates for the US dollar. Either way, very high impact news event. Wednesday we have gross domestic product for GBP and 30-year bond auctions for the US dollar. And we also have 10-year bond auctions on Tuesday, a few hours after the CPI news. So 2 bond auctions for US dollar this week. On Thursday, we have core producer price index, which essentially measures the same thing. Inflation rates in the US, and core retail sales and unemployment claims, all 5:30 a.m. New York session on Thursday, pre-New York Open. On Friday, high impact news, Empire State Manufacturing Index, and preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment. I'm going to refer to our secondary news resource, dailyfx.com, which usually has additional news events that that Forex Factory does not have. And again, this is dailyfx.com. All right, so let's see here. Tuesday, London Open, we have Germany inflation rates and unemployment rates for GBP. Shortly after that, we have new yuan loans for China. And then during pre-New York session, inflation rates for Brazil, inflation rates for India, industrial production for Mexico, core inflation rates USD, as we just covered. Following day, London Open, GDP for Great British Pound, inflation rates for Russia. Later that morning, producer price index Thursday morning, pre-New York Open. Friday, inflation rates for France, Italy, and Michigan consumer sentiment as previously stated. So lots of high impact news events. We're going to be picking up right off of last week and should just be heavy volume and excellent trading conditions. So first things first, we're going to be covering gold. So as you can see here, I already have it partly marked up as I had just done this analysis, so I let you guys know at the start of this video. So what I am seeing for gold this week is, let's go full screen here. We already are full screen. All right, fantastic. All right, on the right hand side, we're on the weekly time frame. On the left hand side, we're going to go to the 4-hour time frame here. So as you can see, we closed very strong bullish last week and made a new all-time high, which the new all-time high price for gold is $2,195.23.5. So if we zoom out some, you can see that on the lower intraday time frame, daily 2-hour time frame, day trading time frame, the 2-hour and 4-hour are showing rejection from this area of demand down here. We broke above this area of resistance, price pushed above, retested, and then continued higher to make that new all-time high. You can see the 4-hour candle open bearish, came down, rejected, closed bearish still, but strong wick rejection, indicating that buyers are here in the market. And then if we go back to the 2-hour, you can see a lower time frame push bullish candle starting to develop, which indicates that we may continue trending higher. If we go down to the 1 hour, same thing. You can see that nice wick rejection, higher low point, strong bullish candle close on the last candle on Friday. No wick at the top, and we may just open bullish and continue going higher up back to the previous all-time high in this area of supply at 21.95, and potentially even higher up to our projected areas at 22.30 and 22.40 price range. If you go a bit lower, down to the 30-minute time frame, you can see that the bullish volume is picking up. You can see there was some rejection here from sellers trying to push this lower, more rejection, but ultimately couldn't sustain, and we got buyers to step in and most likely took some of these sellers out and took liquidity, and we may continue to drive higher. Now, if price does come down one last time before continuing higher this week, you can see that in the weekly time frame we have some retest areas, which is our area of demand, which is where we previously rejected on Friday. We also have this area of support, previous resistance, that we may come down and retest once more as well. So we could have a drive up, then we could see another pullback down here or here, making a higher low point on the higher time frame, on the weekly time frame, and then continuing higher. But ultimately, the position or setup I'm really seeing is just the continuation move. Once we get to this area of supply here, it's going to get interesting, and we may see a rejection, but I believe that we will break above. We have a strong key level at 2200, 2200 that hasn't been tested, and to me it looks like 21.95 is going to be breached, and we're going to continue trending higher. If we zoom out to the 12-hour time frame, you can see that we closed bullish, but there's wick rejections on both sides, but we still close bullish, and as you can see, we have our retest areas, which does line up with our higher time frame analysis. We just need to be patient, but ultimately still seeing prices continuing higher. And this risk reward tool was based off of, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, I sent this analysis into the channel, my Telegram channel, and if you have not joined my free Telegram channel, please go ahead and do so. I send news and analysis updates throughout the week here, and I will be sending signals once again here soon. But as you can see, it said buys at 1962, price broke above. You could entered, I'd covered this on the video earlier, but could entered here, push in your favor, price retested one last time, and then ultimately continued higher to make that new all-time high. So this would have been a really good trade setup, entering on those buys on the break of resistance and continuation move. So yeah, still seeing the same thing. Overall, bullish continuation up to 21.95 to potentially 22.30, 22.40 price range. Next, let's look at the NASDAQ. Again, this has already been analyzed, as I had just covered this until I realized I had audio issues. So next, NASDAQ, we opened bullish, made a new all-time high, then rejected and flipped bearish on Friday for NFP news. You can see that this minor level of structure was broken, minor level of support was broken, which caused this momentum to kick in and a lot of bearish volume backed off of news. So we can see here that price has came down to our area of 18000 as a retest, which I was thinking would be a good point to take buys. From this point, we could see that price did come down, reject, failed to make a new low, and is finding some type of support here. If we go to a lower time frame, we can really see that on the 1 and 2 hour. Although these are bearish candle closes, you still may see buyers start to step in. Higher low be formed here, and we come back up to at least 1815, potentially back up to the all-time high that was just made. But 1815 up to 1825 is what we're seeing for an intraday level for myself, for potential bearish continuation after that point. And that may or may not happen. We may continue bullish after that, but ultimately this first area here, which I'll place the risk reward tool to show a intraday type setup, but this is a 2R trade. If you have stop loss below the low, taking profit at 1815, you have essentially a 2R trade here, and it extends higher up to the 182, 1825 price range. You have a 3R trade. So ultimately this does look pretty good in my mind, and we'll be looking to potentially take buys here one, depending how these bullish candles form where we're currently at, and whether or not we get a sweep of the previous day's low, Friday's low, and then possibly continue higher. So we'll see what happens, but ultimately NASDAQ, I'm still thinking that we may hit our projected area at the 18500 price range. But for now, we are definitely looking like the pullback is imminent. On the weekly time frame, we are bearish. Well, we did close bearish with strong wick rejection, but we're still bearish. And we will be bearish until we break above, obviously, the previous week's high. Up at this point, the all-time high. What is most detrimental would be this area here, this area of supply. This would indicate, a break above this point would indicate we have bullish volume with the potential to drive higher, but would not indicate that we're going to continue trending bullish. We would need that previous all-time high to break, and then strong bearish volume, or bullish volume, up to that projected area we're looking at. On the right-hand side, if we go down to the daily time frame, you can see strong bearish candle, which is why I'm thinking we may reject off of these areas here after we drive up. But what would invalidate this is just one strong bullish candle, and would completely invalidate the bearish price action we're seeing. So we got a similar candle to this one here, and we see something like this market open, or today or Monday. This would indicate that we're bearish, or bullish, my apologies. This would indicate that we are bullish. It would have breaking above the previous open and sustained bullish, and that's what we want to see, or what we would need to see for price to continue higher. Let me remove this risk reward tool so you can see what I'm talking about on this candle box, on this box here, this zone. If we get a strong bullish candle, price is going to continue higher, and then if we do see something like that, as such, we would possibly see a pullback to enter on a retest and then potentially continue higher. So there's a few possibilities, but ultimately I am seeing price want to push higher first to start the week. But given that we just flipped, it's very questionable in terms of whether or not the NASDAQ has anything left. But we'll see how it plays out. It's a little too early to see, and we're going to need price action to play out as we have just covered. Next, we're going to go over and analyze Bitcoin here. Bitcoin here has just made a new all-time high, and we have, on some exchanges, have hit 70,000. On the Bitfinex exchange, we have not hit 70,000 quite yet. We have hit 69,861. So price is looking just to continue extending higher up to 85,000 to 90,000, 85, 90,000 price range. We can see that price had a pullback at the start of the week. I believe it was Tuesday. Yeah, it would have been a really good time to buy a pullback for most current cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin had a major correction. Well, not a major correction, but had a good amount of a pullback from the resistance that it hit at its previous all-time high at 69,000. Had a pullback of 15% nearly, and then rallied since then. Investors and traders bought the dip, and the bull market is still going to continue. That was just a good time to accumulate more or get in if you relate to the party. But ultimately, I'm just seeing Bitcoin continue higher up to 85, 90,000 price range. There's really nothing holding it back currently, and we have just broken above the previous all-time high. It really isn't just price discovery mode and shall continue higher. Now, it does look like it's getting these periods of low volume consolidation to kind of get more liquidity in. But as you can see, low volume breakout, low volume breakout. People took profits right here and also shorted, as people were anticipating that people were going to take profits at the all-time high. So sellers got in, people took profits, people panic selling, and that's what caused this move here. And then same thing, drive up, consolidation. It looks like we're about to have another push. Another clean break, which would be the move above 70,000. So if we just take this prior week's candle and we apply it to this upcoming week, let's see what would happen. What would we look like? Same volume based off our close right now. We could see potentially Bitcoin at 80K. If we get a pullback and retest this previous all-time high, or retest this level of support or potential support, it was resistance, now potential support, we could retest right here, 65,000 price range, pull back at the start of the week. Let's see a massive run up to 80, 85,000. And same thing could happen here, since we are technically above this level of resistance here. Price may only just continue higher now that we're above this point. May only give a little pullback and then continue. And if you see on the daily, we have a strong bullish candle close currently above this level. So we'll see how it closes in the next 5 hours and 40 minutes. But ultimately, yeah, Bitcoin's not stopping. It's going to keep on going. Next, we're going to be looking at XRP. XRP here had a pullback as well, as I was saying on Tuesday. As you can see, major pullback right here. Hit this area of supply. Came back down, retested. Came all the way down to 53 cents. Yeah, 53.333 cents. And then since rallied all the way back up to where we're currently at, nearly 62 cents here, 61.5 cents. So for me personally, what I'm seeing here for XRP is that price is going to want to continue bullish. Earlier at the start of this week, this weekly candle was bullish, but we are slightly bearish in terms of candle, but wick rejections, we're seeing buyers stepping in. Monthly time frame, still bullish candle. All we need is some significant volume to step in to break above this area we're currently at. To me, we're looking like we're going to target 70 cents and then 90 cents to $1 after that point. But right now, we have this move up, higher low point, push, slight reaction, but not very strong. Not a lot of strong volume here. To me, this looks like price may want to drive one more time. How I have this arrow here, create another wick rejection, and then take off to first hit this 70 cent point. Well, actually, first this area of supply that we have, this area of resistance at 66 cents, and then a drive up to 70 cents, which should break above, as there would be a lot of strong bullish volume up to 90 cents here. So for a day trade, intraday trade, swing trade setup, depending how you want to play it, you could target here. Depending how wide you want your stop loss, you could have it below that wick that was made. This would be just a 1-to-1 at the first take profit at 70, 71 cents. But if you extended that up to the overall projection you're looking at, or the overall first area of resistance at 90 cents, this is over a 3-hour trade, and that's a fantastic setup, especially if the higher lows form right where we're currently at, which it may happen. There could be one more move down though, but where we're currently at, this is what you want to see. It almost looks like a smart money trap. Sellers getting in, thinking there's a continuation, not enough volume, trapping in liquidity, higher low point, boom, bullish candle, breakout. That's, in my mind, at least how I'm envisioning this. And so, as you can see here, you have these levels here. If we break below down here, that's okay. You know, this is where the major support is, so we could see something like that. But how we're currently looking, to me, is just looking like we're primed for takeoff, or primed for the next move. As you can see, broke below, closed above. The next candle bit bullish. I mean, if we get a wick rejection, break below, that's fine. We'd come down to here, but if it goes slightly lower, you can see this is what you'd want to see in theory for support to hold and for buyers to step in. So it's could be seen as make or break point, but my probability is with the buyers here. Last but not least, we're going to be looking at basic attention token here. This particular chart has me really excited. As you can see, this is the monthly time frame. We're looking very strong and bullish. We've broken above this area of supply. You could call it a smart money trap. A lot of different things, but we broke above here, closed or about to close above it on the daily time frame and a weekly time frame. Monthly time frame still open, obviously, but weekly time frame, same thing. We had a pullback on Tuesday, as most major cryptos did had a dip, people bought up the dip, flipped bullish, broke above this area, and price is looking just to act as a magnet and drive up towards this 45-cent price range here. There's literally nothing here in the way up until 45 cents, so price is just going to continue moving further. From the current price range up to that point would be a 25% movement. From there, we may see a rejection. We may come back down and retest where we're currently at, and then continue and extend higher up to the 70-cent price range and 90-cent price range as well. It is possible that if we do hit 45 cents, price may just break through and continue higher. Given that there would be a lot of volume and exuberance in the market, a lot of buyers getting excited. But overall, I would expect a pullback at least first, a retest first. But still, overall, basic attention token is lining up with the overall analysis that we've been seeing for the last few months. I've gotten this coin at around 25, 26 cents, and we're nearly up 50% on there, and we're still going to continue higher. The first area I'm looking to take profit at is the previous all-time high or close to it at $1.60 to $1.80, that price range there. That'd be a 400 to 500% return for me, and it'd be absolutely insane not to be taking some type of profits at that point. I wouldn't be closing everything, but I would definitely be at least securing half the bag. It'd make no sense not to. And then we may see the $2.40 price range, which is our overall projections based off the Fibonacci's. And that could be our new target for an all-time high, $2.40. But overall, this is still lining up with our overall investment strategy, and we're up pretty good on here and should continue to play out. It's not too late by any means to start accumulating, but we are starting to get a little more expensive. So once it starts to get above 40 cents, you might be a little late. You're not too late, obviously, as you'd only be calculating just dimes and pennies, but it's compared from where it started to be significantly higher, and I would not recommend buying this at the highs. If you're able to buy it under 45 cents, I still think that's a good buy, but past that point, you still have a good potential return on investment, but you're late. And we'll go back to XRP real quick. It's still not too late to buy into XRP. Price is still pretty fair. I think once we get above that 70-cent price range, it's going to be a little more expensive to get, but currently in the 50 to 60-cent price range, very fair value, good price to be accumulating at. Once price is at 90 cents, it's going to be very expensive, and I don't recommend buying there if you don't already have something established. For me personally, I'm going to be accumulating more as price goes up, but not as aggressively as I have been buying. It will just be adding to my holdings. Whereas if I try and accumulate way too much as price is high, it's going to mess up my current position, and I may or may not maximize gains or may take excessive risk by doing so. But for now, I'm thankful that I have accumulated as much as I have, and will continue to do so up until price breaks out of this range here and until it gets too expensive. But for now, XRP is good to buy. Basic attention token is good to buy up until 45 cents, and yeah, that's all I have for you guys this week. If you have not yet joined my free Telegram channel, go ahead and do so. Link is in the video description. If you are not following me on Instagram, please follow me. My pages are Build-A-Trader and at Bat Signals. I'm also on TikTok at Build-A-Trader as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. I am happy to help you or answer your questions for whatever you need. Hope you guys have a great trading week, and I am looking forward to this week and the rest of this month. You guys take care, and peace.